Welcome back everyone to another episode of The Road Chose Me. My name's Dan and today we are ripping along on the ferry. We're heading over to Fraser Island, recently renamed Guri, which not surprisingly translates to paradise. So this is the world's biggest sand island. This is some of Australia's most iconic four-wheel driving. We've got tons of sand driving coming up. I expect we're gonna get the Jeep stuck. And not only do we have the Jeep, my Uncle Ron in the Hilux is coming along for the adventure. This is why I came to Australia. This one I am really excited about. Let's go for it over to the island of Guri to drive on the sand. So obviously the magical part about Fraser Island is driving on the beach and all of that. Before we can get there though, we have to be inland and we come to one of the wonders of Fraser Island. This is called Lake Mckenzie and you can see the stunning white sand that is the shoreline and then the crystal clear water. So this thing is fed entirely by rainwater. There's no rivers here because this is just a sand island. And so it's full of rainwater, it's crystal clear and it's up to 14 meters deep, which is like 60 feet or something. So this is a really spectacular white sand lake in the middle of Fraser Island. And it's really special because you can swim in this, whereas you don't really want to swim in the ocean here because of sharks and because of really dangerous ocean currents and waves and all of that. With any luck, we'll show you some of the sharks later on, but this is the stunning beach that we've just driven to. Pretty nice place to jump out and stretch the legs. Katie's keen to go for a swim because she's Canadian and that's what Canadians do when they get to cold water, versus I'm turning back into an Australian. I might just walk in up to my knees. So here we are guys, camping on the beach on Fraser Island, and check it out, look who we've bumped into. This is Grizzly and Bear Overland. These guys are legends. So Katie and Steph behind me hanging out, having a chat. Leigh's running around trying to organize something off Uncle Ron. I don't even know what we're doing right now, but check it out. This is their Defender 130. So if you don't know, Leigh and Steph from Grizzly and Bear, they drove this thing from France all the way across all the stands, all of Central Asia, all of Russia, shipped it down to South Korea, then across to Japan, then to Taiwan. Now they're in Australia. They've got more global adventures planned. This is the real deal. This is such an epic expedition. The vehicle's rad, but of course, Leigh and Steph are really cool to hang out with. You can tell I'm just grinning like an idiot chatting to other world adventurers. This is what it's all about. And we're trying to hook up for a future adventure. Let's see what happens. For now though, we're just going to enjoy. Sunset's about to roll on. You can tell by the smile on my face, something good is going on. We've just driven over to the west side of Fraser Island. I've never seen this before, and have a look. We have found white sand paradise. There's Ron and Katie. There's a sailboat in the background. So we now just are going to find somewhere to camp. And this is us for a couple of nights we booked over here on the west side. And so Ron's having a look at what the fishing options are. We're obviously looking at what the camping options are. This now starts to feel like we're in proper paradise. Remember too, it's winter right now. This is as cold as it gets, and it is hot. I'm looking at going for a swim. So yeah, this is now, I feel like we've arrived in tropical Australia. Let's go drive down the beach and see what else we can find. See if we find a really good campsite or a river to fish or something like that. Let's have a look around. Here we are in camp, just getting ready to cook dinner, and you can see sunset over the beach is some kind of spectacular. And it turns out Uncle Ron is a hunter, and that's kind of what got me into hunting and fishing and all that outdoorsy stuff. And so Ron, tell us what we got for dinner tonight.
Well, that's a grey teal, and over here we have an Australian black duck.
And so you
their heads.
You hunted these yourself?
Yeah, in Victoria. Because we're now in Queensland, and you know the hunting in Queensland as such. But these birds come from Victoria, so they're frozen and brought up, half plucked and cleaned, and just a matter of prepping them and cooking them up. One's a bigger bird than the other, of course, but that's just the way it is.
Looks delicious to me, thanks Ron. So we're going to throw them in a stew, some potatoes, some carrots, some onions. We don't really know how it's going to work out, but let's see. In the meantime, sunset. So Uncle Ron and I have just come out for a fishing mission. Here we are, we're still on the west side of Fraser Island. And tell me what, is this paradise or am I just daydreaming right now? This place is utterly incredible. Pure white sand, kind of tidal. We think this is a river. Ron is pretty excited, he really wants to catch a flathead. So we'll see what happens. He's already out there throwing his line around while I'm here talking to you guys. So I better put my fishing rod together and I'll be sure to show you what we catch, if we catch. So Uncle Ron and I were told there were jacks, mangrove jacks in this creek, and this is our fishing trip. Uncle Ron just lost one of his songs and had to swim to get it. I found a coconut. We haven't caught any mangrove jacks. What are we doing? We're up to our knees in the mud. And then someone said there might be crocs in here. I'm losing it.
Let's go.
Yeah, good luck. I tried again.
Hey everybody, so we're just about to do a hike up to the Wongal sand blow. We'll show you a bit of what that's like after, but we thought this was really interesting. So we're in a campground and it's actually completely fenced. So you can see there's this dingo-proof fence that goes all around the campground. And you might also notice the somewhat ominous sign reminding you to stay with your children and always be dingo safe, because Fraser Island actually has tons of dingoes living all over it. It's one of the purest lineages of dingoes that exists in the world because we are on an island, and they are very tame. We've seen them every single day coming up to vehicles and stuff like that. But what we thought was really interesting is they've also provided us with these lovely be dingo safe walking sticks. So walking groups and carry a stick. And this is just a lovely little piece of PVC orange piping, and it bends, and there you go. So I guess no instruction on if we're supposed to hit the dingo or use it to keep the dingoes away from us, but very kindly provided. Thank you, Queensland Parks.
So here we are headed towards the northern part of the island, and this is called Ngala Rocks. This is one of the most famous four-wheel driving obstacles in all of Australia. And so you can see behind me there's a really committing kind of rock, I don't know, gully thing, whatever you want to call it. I just walked the length of it, and there's like diff bashing boulders. There's a kid on the other side who's just smashed his lower control arm right off, tore a tire off a rim, the rim's all bent up. Doesn't really appeal to me. I don't need to do that kind of thing if it isn't actually necessary. But so there is a bypass. At low tide we would be able to drive up that section of the beach, then come up onto what I'm standing on now. And what I'm standing on now looks like this. And it's really funny to see this in real life, because I have seen numerous videos and photos online where there are just like 10 four-wheel drives in a row stuck right here in this. This is really, really soft stand. And it's actually uphill as well, so I'm walking uphill right now in this direction, heading north. And so this is, they say, more four-wheel drives have been stuck in this exact spot in Australia than all the rest of Australia put together. So this is the thing, right now, even walking in the tyre tracks, I'm in the grooves, this is still really soft sand. I can feel my feet sinking down. This is softer sand than I encountered in the Simpson, or, kind of maybe similar to the road beach run in places. So we've been ripping around the island so far at about 22 PSI. I feel like for this I need to go down quite a bit more, so maybe I'll go to 15 and see how that goes, and see if we can drive up through here. Might have to try and convince Uncle Ron that this isn't a stupid idea. He definitely doesn't want to drive the committing rock line down there, which I don't really need to either. It looks like it's full of salt water, and rather not get the Gladiator covered in salt water. So for now I'm going to keep walking, keep having a good look at how long and how committing this big sand section is. Seems to me with the right tyre pressures we should just be able to drive this without an issue. Isn't much to winch off of, but we do have the two of us and downhill that way, so you could probably always reverse it and get out of it. But I want to see what's at the far end. And again, now here I am at the end, and I recognize this as another super famous spot. Obviously, to get off the beach you have to charge up this. And again, this sand is soft, and that's actually quite a steep climb right there. So I can totally understand why so many four-wheel drives get stuck here. And that's your only way to get back if you go up to the northern end of the island. So I have to chat to Uncle Ron, make sure that he's on board with it, but I think with low enough tyre pressures we're not going to have a problem. Ron's tyres aren't the greatest, so let's go and find out. So this is the rocks proper, Ngala Rocks. You can see the consequences here. These guys have smashed a lower control arm, torn a tyre off the rim's not even round anymore. So On the other side as well, there's a group, they've got a burnt out clutch, and there's like 2 vehicles trying to tow it through the sand right now. It's a bit of a gong show, but I guess this is Ngala Rocks. And I thought I'd show you, this is the entrance to the rocks themselves. So we'll just walk the line here. Obviously you're locked in, this is easy, this is easy. We did just talk to a guy who drove it and he said it was no problem. But obviously you can see where all these dips are just grinding out, they're just smacking into these rocks. And so you just have to pick your line, I suppose, find a way to keep your diffs up out of these rocks. And then, in theory, this is probably salt water, which isn't great to drive through. And there's sort of some rocks in here that are in the middle that are gonna get your diffs. And so I don't actually know how deep it is, and you can see a rock there in the middle. So this is, you know, Ngala Rocks committing, you're in this trench and you're just smacking your diffs and smacking your lower control arms and stuff. This doesn't really appeal to me. I don't need to do that. So the line, it looks like, is down and around. We can go under this stuff if we wait till low tide. Basically, we can just sneak below the rocks here. And so we'll just wait another maybe hour or so. The tide's on its way out. We've given ourselves tons of time with the tides. So we'll just wait a while, sneak under, then attack the sand problem. Just got to convince Uncle Rod.
YouTube land. I got nominated as the camera person because I have the best friend out. So I'm excited about that. You can definitely see there's a storm. Actually, the weather looks like it's getting better. So this might not actually be the worst part of the deal. Anyway, let's go see what that next looks like.
Mate, we need your bloody max track.
Okay, I'll come back to you with them.
Okay, there we go. I'm going to, yeah, she didn't quite pull up here, but I was just spinning and, yeah, no traction.
So we're going to try lowering the tire pressures and probably get some max tracks on the go. Dan made a turn. Did somebody say babe watch? Woo!
I was about to say, I feel like I'm in babe watch.
Keep running, Dan, you got this.
Okay, 4 max tracks or 2?
I reckon 4, Ron.
Pull the canopy open. My side.
Okay.
You got bogged on Fraser Island.
I did.
Got bogged on Fraser Island.
Probably not the first time. Probably not the last.
Go, 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 go! So the good news is there's still no sign of Uncle Ron. The bad news is it's a very far walk and I've been left unsupervised with a GoPro. So something cool I learned while I was waiting for the boys to decide what we were gonna do is that Ngala Rocks is actually closed for 6 months of the year, and it's closed because it's a turtle rookery. So it's totally one of those spots where turtles crawl up on the beach and lay their eggs, which I think is really cool. And so you can't actually drive this road during the night for about 6 months of the year. And I just wanted to show you guys this cool, please do not disturb them, turtles bask on these beaches. Just a little fun fact for you guys about the turtles. Can't you just picture cute little turtles living in these caves? It's so cute. I'm in the cave.
Well, that was fun and games.
Yeah, it was pretty good, hey?
Yeah.
We got bogged, got out of it.
Got out of it. Got out of it.
So we've made it to the northern tip of Fraser Island, and have a look. I know I say this a lot, but this place is absolutely beautiful. Sunset is kicking off. I can't help myself. I just posed the Jeep, I'm taking a few photos. Uncle Ron is right there. That's our camping spot for the night. He's got his swag set up. I'm just out here enjoying the sunset. I can't set up the swag yet. So already I can tell we did the right thing by, you've got to get through Ngala Rocks, you've got to get up here to this campsite right on the northern tip. If you ever come to Fraser Island, I think this is where it's at. This is the magical spot. And so we didn't really know, we'd never been here before. We booked 2 nights camping up here, and you have to book ahead, this place fills up. Even 2 weeks ago, it was full right around now when we're here, so we had to be very careful about our nights. So, northern tip of Fraser Island, get up here, hang out, have a wonderful time. This is amazing. Ron and I are gonna throw the fishing rods in, we gotta cook some dinner, gotta throw the swag out. Where else do you wanna be right now? So check it out, Ron and I are going for a walk up the beach. The sand dune behind us here is incredible. Feels like we're at the end of the earth. And following us along the beach is a sneaky little dingo. And it's so funny to look at him because he just feels like a pet dog. Look at him, the way that he walks, the way that he looks friendly, he wags his tail sometimes. It just feels like this is a pet animal that you could pet or like be friends with. But you have to remember, this is a seriously dangerous wild animal. I have no doubt he would tear chunks off me if it came to a fight. And so although we're this close to him, it is not good, and it doesn't matter how much we yell at him and try to deter him, he doesn't really care. He's just so used to people. This is what they're like. So if you ever did want to see a dingo, Fraser Island is definitely the place to do it. So here we are everyone, it is the morning of our 10th day on Fraser Island. So believe it or not, we've actually been here for 9 nights. We've explored all over this island, top to bottom, east to west, and we've had an incredible time. You can see camp behind us there. Katie's doing some yoga this morning. Ron's packing up. He found some rope on the beach that he's gonna keep because that's Uncle Ron's style. Got our swags in the background, and these are the kinds of campsites you get on Fraser Island. This is just wild up here in the dunes. There are no facilities. There was no one else camping within many kilometers of us last night. So we had all of this to ourselves. If you've ever thought about coming to Fraser Island, do not hesitate. As you've seen, this place is utterly incredible. So thanks very much for coming along. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. We have so many more adventures coming in Australia. And if you'd like to go where we're going, if you'd like to camp in these same places, check out all of our campsites, all of our GPS track logs, that's just one of the perks I have for you over on my Patreon page for supporters over there. So I'll put a link down in the description. Head over to Patreon, you get behind the scenes content, you get early access. We can have a one-on-one video call to discuss your trip, your vehicle, whatever it is you're trying to do in the overlanding world. You want to come to Australia and have these same adventures that I'm having? Let's jump on a video call and we'll talk through it and we'll figure out how to make it happen for you. All of that over on Patreon right now. Hit the link, go check it out. Thanks again for watching. Have fun out there, and maybe we'll bump into you on the road.